Did you know that anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the U.S., affecting 40 million adults every year? Our next guest is opening up about her experience with anxiety in hopes of helping others. Here's her story.
The summer before I went away to college, I was excited, but I was also starting to feel really anxious.
Samantha's anxiety gets worse as she settles into college.
I was having several panic attacks a day. I would get this rush of a really hot feeling, a really cold feeling. My hands would be tingling, so would my lips. I was really struggling, and I knew that I couldn't go on like this much longer.
Ready to get help, she starts to visit her college campus health center.
One of the times that I was in the health center, I saw a poster on the wall that said something about panic attacks. And even just hearing those two words together really was a wake-up call for me.
After a few sessions with a therapist, Samantha was referred to a psychiatrist.
And that's, when I had the official diagnosis of panic disorder and was recommended that I take medication. Things were up and down for me. There were periods where I was having multiple panic attacks a day, but there were also periods where I wasn't on medication and I was doing great.
After making it through college, Samantha feels stable through her adult life.
It took a lot of work, and my life needed to get to a more even place before I was able to really have my emotions even out. So for most of my 20s, 30s, I was quite stable.
Samantha shares her experiences to help others.
I put it out there, and so many other people have found the strength to share what they're going through. No matter how badly you're feeling, no matter how scary those thoughts are, no matter how ashamed you might feel, there is someone else who's dealing with the exact same thing.
Samantha Schutz now joins us live to tell us more about managing her anxiety and to talk about the stigma of mental illness. Samantha, we thank you for joining us and for sharing your journey so candidly.
So Samantha, your daughter is almost 2 years old, and we understand that you went through some preparation before pregnancy. So tell us about the team that you put together.
Thank you so much for having me. I just want to say thank you all for sharing your stories. That is so much of what this is about. So I'm encouraged to hear all of you talking so openly. So before I tried to get pregnant, I wanted to set myself up for success. And first that meant moving closer to my family, but also for me knowing to think ahead about my mental health. So I worried, would my anxiety get worse? Would it somehow magically get better? Would I be more predisposed to postpartum anxiety or depression? So I knew that I wanted to see a psychiatrist who specialized in pregnancy. I knew from hearing from friends that sometimes psychiatrists or general practitioners who prescribe meds for anxiety and depression will encourage women to go off their medication. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do, and I wanted to find a doctor who could help me do that safely. So we worked together before I even tried to get pregnant to find a better medication than the one I was on currently. And I switched to that, had some time to get used to it before I tried to get pregnant. And also midway through my pregnancy, I switched to a therapist who specialized in working with mothers. So I wanted to be set up, I wanted to have a team in place, and that made me feel really safe and empowered.
Smart.
Very important stuff, Samantha. And we all know it takes a lot of time and energy to raise a kid. How do you deal with your anxiety while being a single mom? And let me add, hats off, because me and my wife talk constantly, like, what would we do if we did not have each other with these two boys?
Yeah, it's, I like it. Being a parent is hard. Being a single parent is hard. It's all hard. We have to figure out, how to get through with what we've got. So for me, when I first had my daughter, feeling all of those, well, she's a little there, feeling all of those rush of hormones and the anxieties, crying in the kitchen for no reason, checking to see if she's still breathing. I had to remind myself that those things are normal, and that most parents deal with those things in the beginning, and work to remind myself it's normal, it's temporary, I'm going to get through this. And I had a great support system. I had my friends and family nearby. So also being a single parent, there's really only one set of hands around for most of the time. So It's important for me to call on people when I'm struggling, get the help that I can. But when I'm having a really hard time, especially with my mental health, one thing I've had to really work on is allowing myself to take medication on the spot. I know that for me, I sometimes struggle with feeling like, do I really need to take this? Feeling kind of guilty. Should I only take half? I don't have that luxury to wait and see if I can get myself out of the panic attack. I need to calm down, and I need to be present for my daughter. So giving myself that permission to use the tools I've been given by a doctor and use them to help take care of myself and then be able to take care of her. You got to put on your air mask first on the plane, right? I think about that all the time.
Listen, your advice, your book, by the way, it's going to save lives. I'm sure it already has. Samantha, we appreciate you for sharing your journey. Everybody take a look at this. First of all, the cover is so captivating, and it's so true when it looks like somebody that's dealing with anxiety and depression. So we appreciate you. To our viewers, to learn more about the You're Not Alone murals, you can check out the website, and then also this book, I Don't Want to Be Crazy, is available wherever books are sold. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.